I just want to welcome everybody and thank you for joining us on this evening. And I'm Sean McKenna, Superintendent of Griswold Public Schools. And I am joined tonight by Mrs. Pulaski, who's from our Board of Education, and Elaine Taylor, who is our Director of School Counseling, as well as a number of folks from our elementary school, the early childhood program, Jaselyn Caviness, as well as Jenna Mata. We're still admitting people. But what we're going to do is get started with Mrs. Taylor. This portion of the program focuses on high school registration. We want to make it as easy for you as possible. High school. I am going to ask everybody just to mute for this portion of the presentation. If you do have questions, we're still admitting people here. Okay. If you do have questions, we're asking you to politely hold your questions until the end. We're going to get you covered and we're going to get those questions answered. And we want to thank you for coming out tonight, and we hope that you can be a part of our Wolverine Nation. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. McKenna. Thanks for having me tonight, and thank you all for being here. It's hard to believe we're already past the midpoint of this school year, and we're getting into second semester now, which also means I'm shifting my focus to all things 2026, 2027. And I know that transition from middle school to high school can be both exciting and overwhelming for many. Throughout my years of being in this position and looking at that transition and working with families and students, I know there's a spectrum of both of those feelings that exist. And for some of you, it might be the first time that you're filling out registration paperwork, maybe since your child enrolled in kindergarten. So my goal tonight is to share clear information, key timelines, and next steps. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Enter them in the chat, or as Mr. McKenna referenced, we'll be sure to answer all questions at the end. And I just want to be sure you can see my screen. I did share it. Good. All right. Perfect. So I'm just going to walk you through some key things on our website. So this is our Griswold High School website. You'll see that the first section here is YGHS. And if you select high school registration, I lost it there, high school registration, and hopefully my internet cooperates here. Okay, perfect. So if you scroll down, and the very first step that we look for sending town students to complete is the class of 2030 interest form. It's a brief form, so it's basic information, but just giving us your contact information and also your students' information. And what this will do is we'll receive that information, and then from there, Darlene Melgi, who is in our school counseling office, she will work with you to get you that registration packet. So that's the very first step. If you've already filled out that class of 2030 interest form, then you should have received the registration packet already, because our registration opened on January 12th. And so here is a little information about our timeline. So we are now down here with registration being released on January 12th. Our priority registration deadline is on February 27th. So that is coming up. I feel like January was a very long month and February goes by in a blink. So here we are, February 4th, and we're looking to have the many registrations into us by February 27th. We do have an extended registration deadline of April 1st, and that will ensure that your students' information, class information, whether that's the core classes or electives, are all included with as we're building the schedule for next year. As a small school, we look really closely at those numbers for each of our courses to determine which classes students are most interested in, how many sections to run of each of those courses. So it's really important that you have your students' information into us so that we can have them be part of building that schedule. Of course, if don't have your information in there at that time, we'll of course make a schedule work, but it just makes things run a lot more smoothly if we have it ahead of time. So those are the main deadlines that we're looking at, February 27th and April 1st. From there, I spend the month of April going to each of our sending town schools and all the middle schools that feed into our high school to work with students on electives. And then I work closely with each of the teams at the middle schools and on those core recommendations. So together between the core recommendations with English, history, science, math, Spanish, between those and then helping students select their electives, we fill up their schedule for next year. So those are the key deadlines. If you're interested in seeing our courses, if you click on school counseling, I should say hover on school counseling, but then click on courses and pathways. And if you scroll down just a little bit and click on the GHS course catalog, this will take you to our school counseling website. And we have all of our academic departments listed here. So you can hop around and see what classes we have to offer between the core classes and our elective options. You can also see the various opportunities that we have for students to earn college credit. We have different articulations, whether it's through UConn, College Board AP, Southern Connecticut, and also our Connecticut State Community Colleges. So there's a good wealth of information that's available on our website. But again, those main deadlines are for you to receive, complete that class of 2030 interest form, and then you'll receive the registration and have it back to us as soon as possible. February 27th would be wonderful. If you're still kind of making some decisions or you're waiting to hear back from a tech school, then the April 1st deadline would probably be better to shoot for. So that is the information I have for everyone tonight, just a basic overview and timeline.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mrs. Taylor. Aren't we offering some new courses next year that I'm not quite sure if they're listed yet? I know there's a drone technology course and I think a part 2. And then I think Mrs. Polonen, the school principal, will be teaching a course.
Yes, Mrs. Polonen has, she actually just was approved this past week. I'm not shocked that she was approved, but through UConn ECE. So she'll be offering, so ECE is one of our dual enrollment opportunities where students can earn college credit. And so through UConn, we'll be offering a class regarding special education. And so it'll be a great opportunity for students who are interested in the field of education to earn college credit and also have a class with their principal, which I think is unique. So yeah, we do have several new courses. Our art department was also looking at revamping their offerings. So I'm excited to see what they have put together. We're going through our course catalog revisions right now. So we'll be making those updates to our website in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Mrs. Taylor. There are no further questions. So at this point in time, we're going to thank Mrs. Taylor for joining us. We hope for those people that did participate and are interested in Griswold High School, we hope to see you at our high school as a Wolverine. So at this point in time, I'm going to turn it over. I see that Mrs. Caviness is here and Mrs. Mata to talk about registration at Griswold Elementary School in early childhood.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to start talking to you about our preschool screening and our preschool registration process for this school year. Preschool screenings will be held on March 20th and April 10th. You can go right onto the Griswold Public Schools website and go to the Griswold Early Education Program section, and there will be a form there for you to fill out. And then one of our secretaries will give you a call to schedule your appointment for either of those days. And once you're scheduled, you will get an email with some paperwork to fill out for you to bring with you to the screening. It'll be a developmental questionnaire and then also some grant paperwork that's needed for our Early Start Connecticut funding. We're excited that for preschool next year, we have 3 different offerings. So we're going to have 2 sessions from like what we have now, 9 to 11:30 and 12:30 to 3. And then we're going to have 2 half school day sessions from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then we also are still going to have our Wolverines Forward preschool program from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you will be able to select which of those you're the most interested in that beginning packet as well. Filling out the packet and coming to screening does not guarantee a slot, but you won't be considered for a slot if you do not complete the grant paperwork. So make sure when you get your email from Ms. Fargo that you get that real filled out and bring that into your screening. After you attend screening in May, you will find out if you have been selected for a seat and which your slot is, if it's the quarter day or the school day, or if you chose for the Wolverine's Forward classroom. And after you do that, you'll need to come in and do your full registration packet. So there's sort of 2 steps. Your application is the developmental and the grant funded paperwork. And then after that is the full registration, which everybody who attends Griswold Public Schools has to fill out. So you'll have about 15 days to submit that before we move to the next person on our list. Then I'll move on to kindergarten registration. It's also that time of year for kindergarten registration. So the screening process for kindergarten sort of depends on your kiddo's birthday. So for children who will be 5 before September 2026, you can go right to the GPS website, sign up for a kindergarten screening, and access the kindergarten registration packet. Again, our office will call you to give you an appointment for the May 22nd kindergarten screening. That's the simple process. If you have a child who was born, who will be 5 between September 1st, 2026 and December 31st, 2026, then you can apply for an early entrance to kindergarten waiver. That form is also on our website, and it's also in the Wednesday folder today. So you're going to fill that out, and then you have to attend the screening again on May 22nd. And then after your child is assessed, then you'll be notified if you're given a kindergarten slot. We do need those waivers in by May 1st. And again, kindergarten screening will be on May 22nd. That screening paper, the form and the waiver form are both available on our website and in the Wednesday folder. One important note with that, if your child is already enrolled in Griswold Early Education Program and is eligible for kindergarten, you don't have to do those other 2 steps I just talked about. You're already registered, you're already good to go. So one thing off your list if you're one of our Jeep families.
Jaselyn, Joe is here, Mr. Bordeaux, the principal, and Jenna. Did anyone else from the elementary school want to jump in and add anything?
Oh, I just wanted to say, Sean, hello, it's Joe Bordeaux, the principal at Griswold Elementary School. I just wanted to say that if you have any questions, please feel free to call the GES office. If any questions come up, if you're not quite sure about something, navigating the website, please feel free to give us a call and we can walk you through those step by step. We're always available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you, Sean.
Yep. And
Thank you,
know
Jaselyn.
Yeah.
Mrs. Mata is here, the kindergarten team leader. I don't know if she wanted to say anything.
We also have hard copies of paperwork too if accessing it online is difficult. So that was the only other piece that Jaselyn didn't get to. But yeah, we are excited for our new incoming kindergartners.
So I don't know if there's any questions for either Jaselyn or Mr. Bordeaux or Mrs. Mata at this time about registration for kindergarten, pre-K, the screening process.
Question that just popped up. How is it decided what preschool classroom you get? So when you fill out that beginning paperwork that comes to you in an email, you fill out what you're interested in. And then we will do our best. We have some grant requirements that we have to maintain for the Jeep classrooms. So we will try to assess based on parent need and age and appropriateness in the classroom and being able to navigate those early start requirements. So it's sort of a combo. So definitely on the parent side, fill out what ones you're interested in. If you're interested in all 3, mark all 3. If you have a hardship that you'd like us to be aware of, please, you can note that on there. And then just make sure you get that grant funded paperwork in because there is income requirements for our grant. So we need to know that information in order to place seats appropriately.
Thank you to Mrs. Taylor and Mrs. Caviness, Mrs. Mata, and Mr. Bordeaux. If you have any questions regarding high school registration or pre-K or K registration, please, we are here to help you all. And there was a question about baseball. That is not one of the topics we're covering tonight. But if there's a specific question that was, or a specific topic you want addressed, you can always email us or email one of the administrators. We're here to help. So thank you, Mrs. Pulaski, and have a good
you. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Take care. Bye.
Good night.